Hey, you guys. So today I'll be reviewing Beyond the Gates season 1 episode 90, and this week's episode was really really good. It was a really good episode, and it felt like a Friday episode. It felt like a Friday episode on the Tuesday night. So I'm really curious how the rest of the week was going to go, and let's just get right into the episode. So the episode starts off with Danny at the country club, and Vanessa shows up, and her and Vanessa are talking and whatever. And her and Vanessa are basically just talking about, what's Danny's next move, how she's juggling everything, being a mom and a model and this and that and there. And, Vanessa's basically just encouraging her moves or whatever. So then Jacob and Naomi are at the crib and they're talking. And Jacob basically informs Naomi everything that's been going on with Martin and Smitty. Now, Naomi saying she's very concerned because growing up, the Richardsons were like the perfect couple. But then what's been going on with Ted and Nicole and Martin and Smitty, she's not really sure what's going on. And then she also mentions June, how she's been worried about June. She hasn't been able to get any information from June. So that number that she called a few episodes ago, Jacob encourages her to call again. And every time she mentions June's name, the person hangs up. So she calls again. And she calls again. And basically, the person's like, oh, stop calling me because my sister's dead to me, and hangs up on Naomi's face. So I guess that number was June's sister. So then Martin is gearing up to do a press conference. So Martin is gearing up to do a press conference to expose everything because he's tired of Kenneth harassing his family, and he's ready to just expose everything and protect his family. But of course, Vernon and Bill is trying to stop him. So then Joey is at the casino, and he's talking with Marcel Malone, and Marcel basically is waiting to see if he can get a hold of Kenny. So then he finally gets an update and gets a hold of Kenny, so he heads towards Kenny's way. So then Samantha and Tyra are at the house talking about everything, and basically they're saying that they're worried about what's going on. There's too many secrets and this and that. There, Smitty goes to the park to find Kenneth. He finds Kenneth, and basically Kenneth tells him that he's how he's a journalist, and in this story Martin is the bad guy, not him, and he needs to be worried, and Martin needs to pay him his money and this and that and third. So Smitty gets back to the house, and he's talking to Samantha and Tyrell. He basically tells them he doesn't know what's going on. All he knows is that Martin asked for protection for the family. And he basically packed Martin's bags and said, telling Samantha and Tyrell that he's kicking Martin out because he can't do this anymore. And this and that there. And Samantha and Tyrell try to convince him to talk it out with him. But he's like, no, because he's been lying to me, and this and that and the third. So then Vernon shows up to the press conference, and he's trying to talk Martin out of it. Martin's not budging. So then Bill shows up, and basically he's like, Bill, there's no point in you wasting your time because I'm not budging. So then Joey shows up too, and Joey invites Vanessa to come over, and Vanessa's like, why did you invite me over? And she puts two and two together. She's like, so you're inviting me over for me to be an alibi. So if anybody questions you about the night, they can say you're here with Vanessa and this and that and the third. So then during so Bill is trying to distract the people. So during that, Marcel kind of shows up to the press conference outside, and then Marcel gets a gun and takes him away. So then so Martin is about to do his speech, and Bill gets a text and a picture from Marcel that Kenneth has been murdered. So then while Martin is getting ready to do his speech, Bill shows Martin the message, and Martin freezes up. And Bill basically says, the press conference has been canceled due to a family emergency, and Martin is freezing up, and Bill tells him it's done. So that was the end of this episode, and I will see you guys tomorrow for episode 91.